In this section, I will go over searching and auto emails. The first thing you'll want to do is hover over search. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can hit more and it's going to give you a full list of all of the searches available. So you could do a residential search, a quick search, a detailed search, or you can even create your own. With land, we have a quick search and a detailed search. Really the only difference between these quick and detailed searches is how much criteria is already on the first page. You can always add additional fields to either one of these. So they're interchangeable. Use whichever one you feel comfortable with. You can do commercial searches, multifamily, rental, cross property. You can even look for specific agents or offices. You can look at the history of a particular listing, and you can do the tour search. So if you want to find out what listings are on tour, there's a tour search there. For today's example, I'm just going to do the residential quick search. So you'd click on that. You can also click on it up here in the search bar as well. It takes you to the same search either way. Now, I'm not going to go over what every field means, but I will go over the different types of fields so you know how to navigate them. The first type of field we have is the status field. You're going to notice that it's defaulted to active, contingency, and exclusive agency. You can always uncheck these. Unchecking them is the same as checking all the boxes. It's just a lot easier. You'll notice some of these, if you check them, it's going to automatically put something in the field beside it. This 0 to 180 is actually in days, so it's searching for the most common criteria, which is sold listings that have closed within the past 180 days. If you don't like that, just delete it. You can also use this calendar here, and so you can pick a time frame. If you click on this one arrow, it's just going to go back 1 month. If you click on this double arrow here, it'll go back to this time last year. So let's say I want listings that have closed from the 1st to the 30th. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. I hit OK, and now it's going to put it in there. I could also hand type this out. If I'm unfamiliar with how to use these fields, I can always click on this little question mark here and it's going to tell me exactly how to use it. If I click on it, a new window is going to pop up. The next type of field is this multi-select field here. So property type, city, county, they're all the same type of field. Let's say you want to search for properties in Brenham and Bryan. So if I click on one, and I click on another, you'll notice that they deselect. If you're on a tablet or a phone, it will actually work correctly, but on a computer, Matrix is a fan of keyboard shortcuts, and it will tell you this in the little question mark field. In order to select more than one type, you're going to need to hold down the Control key on your keyboard, or if you're using a Mac, it's the Command key. That will allow you to select more than one. Little tip, if you hold down the Shift key, you can actually click on the first selection you want to do, hold down Shift, and click on the last selection, and it's going to select everything in between. So in this case, I'm going to do Bryan, and I'm going to hold down the Control key, and I'm going to do Brenham, and now it's selected both of those. Same thing with county, property type, subdivision, all of those are going to work the same way. The next thing that I want to do is a numbers field. So over here we have all of the price, bedrooms, baths, things like that. They all require numbers only. If I have somebody who's looking for a house that's around 150,000, I can go in and type in 150,000. It's automatically going to put the zeros behind it. And I notice I get 67 matches. Oh, because I'm in sold. Let's do active real quick. Okay, so active properties that are 150,000. I get 0 matches. This is because it's looking for exactly 150,000, no more, no less. So if I want to do a range, I could do 150-200. I can do 150 or less by doing the minus. I can do 150 or more by doing the plus. Same thing is going to happen with the bedrooms and baths. A lot of the times people say they want at least a 3-bedroom home. So if you do 3, they may be missing out on some houses that have a 4th bedroom that meet all their criteria just because you forgot the plus. So if they say at least a 3-bedroom, you may want to go ahead and put the plus behind it as well. Okay, the next type of field is going to be down here at the bottom. I don't actually have it here yet. So this is all my criteria up top here, but there's a couple fields I want to search by that aren't on this list. Down at the bottom here, it says additional fields. I can go ahead and add additional fields. So in this case, I want to search by the public remarks. So I'm going to find that field, click on it, and add it to the selected fields here. Let's say I also want to search for maybe builder. So I go in, I click on builder, and I add that over. Now I hit back and I go back to my screen here. Let's say I have somebody who has some strange criteria. They want properties that have a lot of trees. There's actually a field for this, but let's say I don't know that. What I do know is that a lot of the times people like to describe the properties and kind of paint a picture. So if it has a lot of trees, people are more than likely going to talk about it in the public remarks. So what am I going to do? I'm going to search the public remarks for the word trees. Problem is I'm getting 0 matches. Again, Matrix likes to be very exact. So when somebody types in this property has a lot of trees or this property has beautiful trees, it's not going to find it because it's looking for something where somebody only typed in the word trees and nothing more. If I put in asterisks before and after the word, it's now going to find anything that contains the word trees. So that asterisk will help you out. This may also help you find harder to find properties. We're adding some additional fields here very soon that will help with this problem. But let's say you want houses that accept Section 8 or that are age restricted. You could use this to help you find them by searching that public remarks field and doing the word contains. Sometimes you'll also notice that with builder, let's say you're trying to find a specific builder. Some people will type in the name. Some people will type in the name with a comma LLC behind it. You know, they can spell it different ways. If it's a 2-part name, they may leave off one of the parts. So you can use contains to search here as well. This also comes in handy when searching for addresses. So for example, our office is located on Greenfield Plaza. Greenfield is actually one word, but a lot of people don't know that. So if I wanted to search, I could do contains the word green, and then it's going to find it. Now, you may come across some listings that are on county roads. Those can be a little bit difficult because sometimes people will type in CR, sometimes they'll type in county road, sometimes they'll type in county, and then they'll use the street suffix and do road. If you're looking for a property and you're having trouble finding it, you can try county road. Let's say it's county road, I don't know, 150. I can try CR, and I can add more options as well. So I can do county road 150. I can do county RD 150, so on and so forth. And I can add multiple addresses too, so I can pull up all of those listings as well. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the map, but I need to make my criteria a little bit better. So I'm going to just select Brian here. All right. Now, you have the option to search by map. I can go to map search here, map here, or map up at the top here. They're all going to take you to the same place. It's going to map all of your properties based upon your criteria on the first page here. You can zoom in and out. You can even change the way the map looks, so you can do a satellite image if you want. And then, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Let's say my client gives me some very interesting criteria that I can't necessarily map out on the first page. There's shapes here that you can use to help you search for properties. So I'm going to use this radius shape, and let's say I have somebody who works at a hospital that's located here. So I click on the shape, I click on my starting point, the center, and they want to be within, let's go a little bit further out, roughly 5 miles of that hospital. But there is also a subdivision over here. I clicked on the little square, and I'm just gonna, it's a pretty big subdivision, but let's pretend. I can go here and I can add this subdivision out here. But they also tell me, and this one's really hard to find, they tell me that they absolutely hate the highway. They think the highway is the most obnoxious thing, and they do not want to live anywhere close to it. So the only way I can filter that out is by using the map. There's actually this draw your own little shape here where you select a starting point and you just keep clicking each point. Come on. I don't know why it's, oh, my laptop is a touchscreen, so it's making me draw it out. But I can draw my own little shape and it's going to create it. If you're on a normal laptop, you'll be able to just hit the little points. But you'll click on each corner and it's going to create the shape for you. I apologize for that. So you can actually hover over your starting point here and you can choose to exclude this shape. So what I've done now is I have drawn a radius around that hospital. I have also included this little subdivision for it to search in, but I've excluded, close enough, to the highway here. So it's not going to show listings that fall within that shape. And so you can overlay these to help you search best for your client. There's also this little broom here, which is going to sweep the map of all of your shapes. If you zoom in quite a bit here, there's going to be different overlays you can use. This little map here, it's several maps on top of each other. Some of them will require you to zoom in more so you can see, but you can see different boundaries on the map as well. So you can show zip codes, the city boundaries, county, unified school districts, neighborhoods, things like that. One thing that's really cool, if you zoom in quite a bit, you can actually even see if it's in a flood zone. So they have that built in here too. You can also see parcel characteristics. This comes in really handy if you're out looking at some land. Sometimes in rural areas, they will divide the land and divide it some more. And when you're going down the road, the addresses don't necessarily match up. So you can actually have it show you the addresses so you can see those on the map as well. You can see the number of bedrooms and baths if it's been reported to the CAD. The lot area if you want to compare them. All kinds of different things you can see here. You can also see trends on the map and you can see points of interest. So you can have it show you where all the libraries are, gas stations, things like that. You can also jump to a particular address. If you got yourself lost, you can type in an address and it's going to jump to it. And this little gear here is going to allow you to set a default. So every time you go to it, it's going to be zoomed into Bryan or College Station or wherever you are set on the map currently. So you can save that. The next thing that you'll do after searching is go to your results page. So you've spent all this time searching. Now you'll go to results to look at them. You can go through here and you can change the display. So they have several different options. You can look at the agent full view. The 3-up comparison is pretty nice because you can compare 3 of them side by side. Whatever view you prefer, you can use. I'm going to go back to the single line because it makes for training a little bit easier. You can add more lines as well. So if you want to see 100 per page, you can do that. You can set your default here. What's really neat is when you're on the agent single line, if you click on any blank space, so don't click on the actual name, but click somewhere where there's a blank space, you'll see the little 4 arrows there. If you click, it's going to allow you to remove a column or insert a new column. So you can insert a column and have it show there as well. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to select a couple listings that we like, and you'll notice as you select them, there's some additional options that show up here at the bottom. You can view your criteria, so you can go back to your criteria page. You can email these listings directly to a client. Keep in mind, if you email, it is going to send you the client-friendly view. So you will not be able to see the agent view if you email it to yourself. You can also do print an email. If you do that, you'll have the option of selecting the agent full view if you want to send it to yourself, and you can email a PDF to yourself that way. You can also select any other view, but if you click on this email button, it's only going to send the client-friendly view. You can also jump straight to a CMA and use these in a CMA. You can get directions to properties here. Sometimes when you're showing properties, they may not be in this order, so you actually have the option of reordering them. So you can go move that one down if you need to. You can add a start and a stop point. So if you want to say, let's meet at my office, you can put in your office address there. You'll hit directions to regenerate. And then down here at the bottom, you have all of your driving directions step by step, and you can choose to email this or print it out. Go back to our results page here, and we have stats that we can look at. So if we want to see the min, max, average, median, all of that for days on market, list price, it's going to give me some stats on the properties I've selected. I can also export this to Excel if I'd like to do that, and you can even create your own custom exports. You can do a quick CMA. I really like the quick CMA because if you know you're not going to be doing adjustments, it puts it on one page for you. If I had sold listings in here, it would give me the sold data as well, but it gives me the min, max, average, and median for all of those categories, list price, days on market, all of that here in this quick CMA. So I did all that just by clicking on the button. I can also go to Cloud CMA, and I can create CMAs through Cloud CMA there. There's also additional tabs. So we have our Refine tab here. I can choose to view this as a specific contact. So if I want to see if I've ever sent this to Caitlin, I can click on Caitlin. If I had, it would send, or it would tell me the date that was emailed to her. So I know not to send her this particular property again. I can also hit narrow, and it's just going to show me the properties that I've selected. Or I can choose to discard those properties if I want to see everything but the ones that I've selected. I'm going to go back to unselect that. And then I can move on to save. I'm going to skip over save for just a second, and we're going to go to cart. So I told you on the homepage video that you have a cart section on your homepage, and you can actually go through here in one search, and you can say, okay, I'm doing one search, and this property would be great for Caitlin, so I want to add it to her cart. This property right here, this second one, is going to be great for John, so I can add it to his cart. And so you can go through and you can add listings to people's cart, and then go back on your homepage, and actually once you're done and you have time to sit down and review them, you can go through and send those to clients all at once. It's a good way to categorize listings for different clients all at one time. Now I'm going to go back to the save option. On here you have two different options. It tells me though I can't do an auto email because my criteria is too broad, and we don't want to send a client 300 emails. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to narrow down my criteria just a tad. So let's do 150 to 200,000. I'm going to go back to results, and on this save tab, I have 3 options. I can do a new saved search. Basically, a new saved search is going to just save your criteria in the system. You can even save it as a new saved search on your home page for easy access, but it's only going to keep it in the system and it's not going to send it to your client. A new auto email is actually going to keep track of your criteria, save it in the system, and when a listing hits your client's criteria, it will send it to them. You also have this speed bar shortcut. If you have a search you want to save so you can run it every time in the speed bar up top, you have the option of saving that as a speed bar shortcut. The most common thing that people want to do when they search, they've spent all this time typing in their criteria, they want to save it for their clients. So we're going to go to new auto email. Once you do a new auto email, you have this contact here. You can go ahead and tie it to a particular contact. If they're not on this list yet, you can create a new contact. You can copy in additional people. You can also copy yourself in on here. You'll create a subject for the email. Now, the subject is also the name of the search, so it's a good idea to make it relevant to your search. Something like new home search, or some people will type in their criteria and they'll name it that. Whatever you want to do, just keep in mind it's the name of the search. Now, there is a welcome email template here. This is going to tell them how to use the portal. It's a good idea just to keep it how it is or to build off of this, but it's up to you. You can customize it however you want. Now, this welcome email is going to be the first email that gets sent. They're never going to receive this again. The reoccurring email, this will allow you to create a template for every other email they're going to get after the initial one. So each time their search is run and the listings are sent to them, you can create a custom one that will be sent out with that. If you choose to leave it blank, that is perfectly fine. They will basically get an email that says, you have new matches that meet your criteria, please click here. And so you can leave it blank if you want, or you can type something in. The next thing you'll see is your signature. That's going to automatically be on there. You have the option of editing it. And then down here at the bottom, you'll have 2 options. So you can either change this to concierge mode or you can schedule it. Concierge mode is going to put you in between the system and your client. So every time a listing meets your client's criteria, it's going to pull up and it's going to notify you, and then you'll go through and say, yes, this looks like a good listing, let me send it to my client. Or no, this isn't going to work, let's reject this one. So if you enable concierge, you get to look at them before it goes to your client. If you do schedule, then it's automatically going to send to your client. You do get to pick how frequently it sends to your client though. So you can do as soon as possible. So the second the criteria or the listing meets your criteria, it's going to automatically send to your client. Now, if they have broad criteria and they're going to get 40 matches a day, you probably want to group them together instead of sending as soon as possible, or else they're going to be getting 40 emails a day. Now, you also have the option of doing daily. With this option, it's going to group them together. You can pick send it in the morning or send it in the evening. Maybe they don't want to get listings on certain days, so you can customize when they get them. Or you can even do monthly. If you do monthly, then it will send them listings that have met their criteria, and it's going to send it just once per month. So that may be good for an investor or something like that. So that is searching and setting up an auto email.